This week, our main focus has been the list from the mechanic and the front cabin of the bus. I have a video coming out soon of the week we have had, and we're so proud of what the area is coming out to. But for now, I'll give you a little sneak peek with the finishing touches we have been putting in. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on that video when it comes out. The last few weeks in Ballarat have not just been cold but very wet. Every day we have been getting rains with no respite, and while normally as a gardener this would be music to my ears as it means that I don't have to water my garden, right now is not a good time for us as we are finally finishing off our bus conversion and having to move the bus to various locations to get that process finished. Earlier this week we ended up having an extremely bad day trying to get to our mechanic for our pre-roadworthy inspection. But if getting bogged constantly isn't bad enough, the moisture inside the house is just as brutal. We're fighting constant condensation, water literally pouring from the windows and soaking our clothes and things. And if left unchecked, this is surely going to lead to mold and problems in our tiny space. So today, my plan is to tackle the condensation in the bus with a few different methods. After last week's morning from hell, we decided to get back into a positive headspace and we headed to the local nurseries to find some houseplants that would thrive inside the humid conditions caused by the weather, but would also survive the type of light that we have indoors in the bus. So my plan is to fill the bus with as many plants as I can. I have my beautiful pothos plants that I propagated and I have used throughout my space for the last 4 years, but I'm also really looking forward to introducing some new plants as well. Along with the plants to help dehumidify things inside the bus, I'm also adding some rock salt in different places that are prone to moisture. This will help to dehumidify the space. We are also making sure that on a daily basis we're opening the windows to dry things out and opening the curtains so that the sun, when it's shining, can help us too. If you didn't know, direct exposure to sunlight for 1 to 3 hours a day can stop mold spores from reproducing, making sunlight a natural mold deterrent, which is brilliant because if you haven't noticed, more than half of our bus is windows, so getting sunlight in is never an issue. It doesn't take long to open up the curtains or the windows, so it makes sense to let nature help us battle these problems. I'm also spraying areas prone to wetness with vinegar. Because of its antifungal and antibacterial properties, it should help reduce the chance of growth. And anyone that's skeptical of vinegar because of the smell of it, don't be deterred. All you have to do is follow my steps of adding some lemon peels into your vinegar bottles, letting that sit for a couple of weeks. Don't forget to remove the lemon peels after these couple of weeks, and then you should be able to smell a much nicer fragrance when you spray your vinegar around. Plus, the lemon itself has citric acid, which is antibacterial and antiseptic as well, which means it's also helping fight the bacteria in your home. Nature, man, it's seriously helpful. I've had a few other suggestions of things that we can add to the bus to dehumidify the place, and I'm definitely taking them into consideration. I know that there are some pouches that you can use that collect the moisture and then you just tip out the water each day. My friend uses these exclusively in her home, so I'm definitely considering those. There's also things like dehumidifiers, and I don't think they're too expensive. If you guys have any recommendations, link them below. But I'm really trying to reduce having to buy new things and make use, unless they're plants, and instead make use of things that I already have or are easy enough for me to do. Luckily, the later part of the week had some sunny days for us and inspired a very fresh and zesty salad for lunch. topped what would otherwise be a very simple salad with smoked trout and my new favourite green herb sauce that makes everything taste better. I absolutely love how every piece in this bus really adds to the functionality of it, but also the aesthetic appeal of it. And today I'm especially excited because we are going to tackle something that has been on my mind for a while, but we just didn't know how we were going to do it. I have just gone to Bunnings and I have committed to buying some cube storage to put into our living space, which is finally going to eliminate all of these piles and bags and things around on our floor that are constantly getting in our way and being moved from place to place because they don't have a place. So before we get into the project, let me show you a before. And now there's nothing more left to do except build these storage boxes, fill them all up, and do my absolute favorite thing, organize. Look, I know usually we're all about sustainability, reclaimed materials, recycled materials, secondhand materials, but sometimes your mental health is more important and worth preserving instead of trying to build everything from scratch. So at this point of the build, we have given ourselves the grace to just get the final few things that we need to. And honestly, this came out to, I think, it was $400 for the cupboards in the living room and a couple of pieces of ply to do the kitchen cupboards. So all in all, I don't think that's too bad of a price. And again, it just would have been more expensive and still new materials if we had tried to DIY build it ourselves. Let's take away the stress. Let's take away the pressure, the problem solving. There's enough to problem solve still. This is something that I can at least gift to us. The piece of furniture. Pre-built furniture. Music gear. Shoe storage. Sand shoes. Bed sheets. So if you haven't already noticed, we've been putting a lot of copper little details into our bus conversion, and I'm following that theme through with our plant pots. We found these really cool metallic copper pots that I'm really excited to decorate with. Wedding dress, which will need a better spot. Maybe I can make a momentum box. The bus is still a construction zone, so there are definitely still tools and things around that will eventually disappear, and we'll have heaps more storage, but for now there's a spot for everything we need. It gets things off the ground, it gets things off surfaces, especially the ones in the kitchen, and it looks a lot neater. I'm really happy with the final result.